How's it going, everyone? NDSean45 coming at you. The question video has ran its course, so it is now time for the third installment of me answering your questions that you guys have taken the time to ask me. Now, just to let you know, since I'm filming this video via my webcam here, I've wrote all your questions down on this pad of paper to make things a little easier so I can see how filming is going. And also, this will be a two-part video because well, you guys know me well enough. I do tend to answer questions at length and sometimes ramble on a little bit. So we're going to play it safe, break it down into two videos. So let's get started. Now, just to let you guys know, before I made this video, I had my online stalker for the past few years rear his ugly head to me. He sent me a private message before I made this video, actually taking pride in the fact that he trolls me on here. And sure enough, as soon as I made the Q&A part 3 video, he made about 5 or 6 fake accounts trying to catch me off guard, thinking that I wouldn't know it was him. And a couple of them I saw he had, a couple of his accounts had been deleted already, and a couple of his comments, which I did not do. So someone must have flagged them or something. But I'll humor this guy. I'm not going to repeat his name, but he's first up here. And this is the stupidity that I'm talking about in this first question. He says, "Hello, I'm a big Eastern Michigan Eagles fan. I'm thinking about joining the TTC to represent the Eagles. What is your advice for a shy newcomer wanting to make YouTube videos? I am confident Eastern Michigan will win the MAC title and compete for the national championship." Are you kidding me? Oh wow! All right, I'll humor this guy, dude. The first thing you got to do is you got to quit trolling. You actually have to grow a pair of balls, make videos, and show your face. So, and just actually knowing you, the fact that you actually think that a MAC team will compete for the national championship, that's just beyond absurd. So I'd keep my face hidden too. But the next troll account, he asked me, which this is actually a pretty good question. I'll give him that. But this is what he does. You know, he plays along and acts all serious, but then he hits you with he reveals himself in sick fashion. But I'll play along with this. His second account, he wants to know what the difference is between a Charlie Weiss coach team and a Brian Kelly coach team based on field style. And then he wants me to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, which I'm sure is mocking me from a previous video that I did last year. It's very simple, dude. Charlie Weiss was pro style. Brian Kelly is a high tempo spread offense. As simple as that. More hurry up offense, and you know what? Really, did you really ask me that question? But as far as the pledge goes, you know, I don't care if this is a troll asking me this question or not. I will gladly recite the Pledge of Allegiance because I'm proud of this country. So I don't have a flag handy, so forgive me, people. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And like I said, in all seriousness, I'm always proud to do that because I'm proud of this country. Maybe not the people running it, but myself, I'm a patriot. So no problem with me reciting the pledge. But all I can say, dude, to this guy who's been stalking me, I don't know what your beef is with me, but you got to give it up. I mean, it's pathetic. I mean, who am I even to troll? I mean, I'm no celebrity. I'm a nobody. If you want someone to make you famous, go troll Colin Kaepernick of the 49ers on Twitter. He'll make you famous. I'm sure you all just read about that story, how he got into some Twitter war with some fan, and that fan ended up getting like 2,000 Twitter followers. So to that troll, if you're watching, go stalk him. He'll make you famous, not me. All right. Now getting to the serious viewers, those of you who were actually serious and took the time to ask me a sincere question. First one comes from a newcomer who calls himself Royce Proctor. Now, this guy, I grilled him. Well, not really grilled him, but I was very suspicious of him because he started his account the same day that I posted the Q&A video. And, like I said, that's what the troll did, is he plays along and acts all serious, and, well, whatever. I'm not going to repeat myself. I do that enough as it is. So, Royce, all I can say is I hope you are telling me the truth. I hope you are sincere. But you have a good question. Okay, so he asked me, longtime viewer, first-time commenter. I love your videos. Your passion and enthusiasm for Notre Dame football makes these fun to watch. 2 thumbs up. My question is, what is your social security number? Haha, JK. But seriously, he asked me, are you going to make a video about this year's recruiting class? And what are your thoughts on Notre Dame's new offensive coordinator, Mike Sanford? Do you expect him to take over the play calling? Keep up the great work. Well, actually, Royce, I had actually thought about making a recruiting video for this year's class, but I just did not have the time to. I've had a lot of things going on the past couple months, and so that's kind of why I did this Q&A video, because I figured somebody would ask me about it. But to answer your question, well, to give you an answer on that, I think it was a very good recruiting class. I think we got a lot of much-needed depth on defense, a lot of help on the offensive line, some backup receivers, some very big playmaking receivers, and then we pulled in quarterback Brandon Wimbush, who I've seen clips of. Very solid quarterback, very talented, guy's a monster. So the recruiting class was very good, to say the least. And then as far as your other question with Mike Sanford, that remains to be seen yet. I mean, Brian Kelly, he does have a history of giving some power to his assistants, but he's still somewhat involved. He doesn't give them 100% authority to make the calls and all that. So that remains to be seen yet. But with Mike Sanford, seeing his track record at Boise State and Stanford, it wouldn't surprise me if Brian Kelly did take a chance and let him do 100% of the play calling. But at this point, we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, we got a lot of new coaches. Still got to get our identity figured out for this year, so we'll have to wait and see on that. But as of right now, I'm leaning towards yes. I think Brian Kelly will give him full reins of the play calling. All right, next question comes from my good buddy, Mr. Sports Freak 56. He asked me, what is your favorite movie character of all time? Man, dude, that's almost not a fair question. There are so many movie characters that I like. One that comes right to the top of my mind is when Billy Bob Thornton played Willie in Bad Santa. That was probably one of the funniest characters I've ever seen. I actually remember seeing that movie when it came out in 2003. Saw it in the theater. One of the very few movies that I've ever seen get a standing ovation at the end. He played that character so well. But the thing is, dude, there are so many movie characters that I like. Clark Griswold's another one by Chevy Chase. Cousin Eddie by Randy Quaid. And speaking of Randy Quaid, the movie Kingpin. Woody Harrelson in that. Randy Quaid playing Ishmael. And basically any character that Bill Murray plays. He's hilarious at every single character he plays, especially as Ernie McCracken. I mean, you're on a gravy train with biscuit wheels. You shattered my record. Oh, so there's a lot of movie characters, man. I can't narrow it down to just one. But those are some of my favorites. Next question comes from another longtime viewer, Super Sparrow 45. His question: what do you think of the recent coaching additions at Notre Dame, with Mike Sanford as the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, Autry Denson for running backs, Todd Light for defensive backs, and Keith Gilmore for the defensive line? He says, personally, I think Sparrow thinks it's a massive upgrade over the previous 4 in both recruiting and coaching. Well, Sparrow, in my opinion, I kind of touched base earlier on with Royce's question about Mike Sanford. Mike Sanford's a huge pickup. I think he'll do very well for us. Both Autry Denson and Todd Light, former Notre Dame players and alumni. Who better for the running backs to learn from than Autry Denson? I mean, he's the all-time leading rusher at Notre Dame, plus he holds a slew of other records there. Todd Light, part of the '88 national championship team. He's done some great work with the defensive backs down when he was at Vanderbilt. And to be honest with you, Keith Gilmore, I really don't know a whole lot about. So I'll have to do some more research on him. But it could be a big upgrade for us. It just time will tell on that one. But as far as recruiting goes, I think it could be a very big. It's a big upgrade for coaching, yes, and it could be for recruiting too. But at the same time, though, you cannot replace a guy like Tony Alford. He was just way too special for us, and he was a major pipeline to all those talented players down in Florida. And that's the one thing with Tony Alford that kind of makes me angry with the Notre Dame administration a little bit. Tony Alford, he was getting us all these guys like Bryant and Folston and so on and so forth from down in the Florida, Georgia area. And it just, from things that I was reading and things that I'd heard, Tony Alford, when he was with us, was making about $300,000 a year. And when Ohio State came in, they offered him about $800,000. Notre Dame wouldn't match it. I mean, come on, you're Notre Dame. You have money coming out everywhere, and you can't match $800,000. I mean, you gotta pay the guys who are your main recruiters. I mean, shoot. The guy at Purdue makes $1.5 million a year, and you can't afford to pay Tony Alford $800,000. Give me a break. So, I mean, I'm as happy as I am with all these guys. Like I said, you just can't replace a Tony Alford and how special he was, the special relationships that he built with recruits and who eventually became players for Notre Dame. So that's just something you can't replace. And all I can say is for Ohio State, they got one hell of a coach and a recruiter. So that losing him hurts a little bit. But do I think these guys that are coming in can help and carry the load? Yes, I do. But we'll just have to wait and see on that as usual. Now this will be my last question for this part 1. Rock Chalk to the Grave. He has 2 questions for me. The first one being, Sean, do you think the issue with the defense this past season was Brian Van Gorder's fault or the fact that the defense was really young? I think it was both because the LSU touchdowns were all on Van Gorder. Wide open holes. I tend to agree with you, Rock Chalk. The best way, I'm sorry, I've just been thinking about this question ever since I saw it, and I'm still trying to come to a clear answer on it. But down the stretch, you have to remember too that we were hit with a lot of heavy injuries on defense, and we were playing a lot of first-time players at the collegiate level. I think at one point we had 9 freshmen starting on defense, guys that are still getting used to the speed of the college game, still getting used to Brian Van Gorder's schemes. But if you remember at the start of the year, his defense was working. I mean, that defense, when we were healthy, we were stepping up and making plays big time. And the first half of the season, it worked. But when we started getting hit with the injury bug on defense, that's when things started to slide a little bit. Because I'm not saying that these young guys aren't talented. Of course they are, but they're freshmen that are still getting adjusted to the collegiate level. I mean, it's a different speed. It's a whole new level than high school. You're playing with the best of the best here. So it's as good as you are, you're gonna have those growing pains and face those adjustments. So I think it was a combination of both. I mean, no coach is perfect. All coaches are gonna make calls that weren't the right ones, that they're gonna fail from time to time. But I think that's what, in my opinion, that's what the big thing of it was, is playing a lot of inexperienced guys and trying to put them into a situation that they weren't quite ready for, because there's only so much you can do with a freshman, you know what I mean? But yes, Van Gorder does have some responsibility to answer for there too, but for the most part of it, it was just being plagued by the injury bug and a lot our youth showing. So that's the best that I can see from my point of view. And Rock Chalk's second question is this: we know Zaire is going to start, but what do you think happens with the other quarterbacks? I wouldn't mind seeing Golson transfer and get a starting job with someone else. He only had a bad year. Deshaun Kaiser will leave because he won't get his chance. But please stay Brandon Wimbush. I've seen this kid play in person, and he's sick. Well, Rock Chalk, with the quarterback situation, Malik Zaire made his case to be the starting quarterback in the Music City Bowl, definitely. But here's what I think is going to happen. I think when the season starts, I think Golson will be the starter because he's not transferring. Okay, it wouldn't make sense for him to transfer now because if he did transfer, he couldn't go to that new school until the summer, which means he would have missed that team's spring game, spring practice, and all that. So it wouldn't make sense for him to transfer now. And besides, he's only with us for this upcoming season, and that's it. But I do think, though, that Golson, if he does start, I think he'll be given a short leash. And if he starts making the same mistakes that he did this past season, I do see Kelly pulling him for Zaire. But at the same time, though, if Zaire starts, I'm not going to be surprised because he'll have earned it. He already got to start with the Music City Bowl. And, as far as Deshaun Kaiser and Brandon Wimbush go, that's what happens when you have a lot of talented quarterbacks on your roster. I mean, yeah, you redshirt these guys, but a lot of these guys want to play right away. So unfortunately, it wouldn't surprise me if one of these guys does decide to transfer. Because the way it stands right now, Golson will be entering his final year of eligibility. Malik, regardless of what happens this upcoming season, he'll have 2 more years left after that. Deshaun Kaiser, I believe he did redshirt, so he's I'm trying to think if this year was his first year of eligibility or not. I'm not sure. And of course, Brandon Wimbush, it wouldn't surprise me if they redshirted him right away. So yeah, I mean, you'd like to think that of this group, if they were to all stay, you'd like to think that you could get 2 years of them each starting. But it's just I don't know. I mean, if you want my honest opinion, I think Deshaun Kaiser would likely be the one who does transfer. It is possible, but I can't say for sure. I mean, Wimbush, I want him to stay too. But I feel bad having to pick between any of these guys because they're all good quarterbacks. But I mean, you gotta pay your dues. You gotta, it's trial and tribulation. You come in the order that you go in the order that you come in, and you have to earn the starting job. I mean, all these guys deserve a chance. Zaire's next in line, then it would be Kaiser, and then it would be Wimbush. That's the way I see it. But no, I don't. If one does transfer, I mean, yeah, Kaiser's probably the favorite to be the one to do so. I don't know, but we'll just have to wait and see. But all I know is for sure, like I said, Golson's not transferring. It wouldn't make any sense for him to now. Malik, he knows that Kelly likes him. He knows what he can do. And like I said, if Golson doesn't perform in that short leash, we'll see Malik in there. So, well, anyway, with that said, guys, that is the end of part 1. Part 2 will be on the way shortly. This is NDSean45, and until part 2, I'll see you then. Go Irish!